As the holiday season approaches, there's something crucial you need to understand if you receive government benefits like SSI, SNAP, or Medicaid. The generous gifts from your loved ones, particularly cash, checks, and gift cards, might actually jeopardize the benefits you depend on each month. I understand that receiving financial help during the holidays can feel like a lifeline, especially when money is tight. However, what seems like a blessing could turn into a serious problem if you're not informed about how these gifts interact with means tested benefit programs. The consequences can include reduced benefits, temporary ineligibility, or even overpayment demands that could total tens of thousands of dollars. This isn't meant to scare you, it's meant to protect you. Today, we're going to thoroughly examine how different types of gifts affect your benefits across various programs. Each program has its own set of rules, and some of them might genuinely surprise you because, frankly, some regulations don't make much sense. Before we begin, I want to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor, attorney, or government official. I'm an educator and researcher dedicated to helping you navigate these complex systems. These rules can be confusing and often vary by state, particularly for programs like SNAP and Medicaid. Throughout this discussion, we'll focus specifically on one-time, non-recurring gifts, the kind you might receive during holidays, birthdays, or other special occasions that aren't part of regular, ongoing support. We're not covering recurring assistance in this guide. I'd also encourage you to share your experiences in the comments. Have you ever had a gift unexpectedly affect your benefits? Have you worried about accepting help from family? Your stories can help others navigating similar situations. To make this easier to understand, I have developed what I call the traffic light system for receiving gifts. Red lights, gifts you should absolutely avoid or be extremely careful about. Yellow lights, gifts that require caution and careful consideration. Green lights, gifts that are generally safe to accept. Let's break down each category in detail. Red light. Cash and cash equivalents. Cash is perhaps the most problematic gift you can receive when you're on benefits. When I refer to cash, I'm including all forms of money you can spend freely. Physical cash, checks, direct deposits, Venmo transfers, Cash App payments, PayPal, Zelle, essentially any method that puts spendable money in your hands. Supplemental Security Income Rules. The Social Security Administration treats cash as unearned income in the month you receive it. However, there's an important nuance that many people miss, and understanding this detail could make a significant difference. Most sources will tell you that you cannot receive more than $20 per month in cash without affecting your SSI benefits. While that's partially true, there's an additional protection many people don't know about: the $60 quarterly exclusion. According to the Federal Code of Regulations, the first $60 of unearned income received in a calendar quarter is excluded from counting against you, but only if you receive it infrequently or irregularly. Here's what this means in practical terms. If you received no cash gifts in October or November, but your grandmother gives you $60 at Christmas in December, you should be protected under this rule because it meets the criteria for infrequent and irregular income. The government defines these terms very specifically. Income is considered infrequent if you receive it only once during a calendar quarter from a single source, and you didn't receive it in the month immediately before or after. Income is irregular if you cannot reasonably expect to receive it. In other words, it's unpredictable. So, if your family member's holiday gift is a surprise, you didn't receive anything similar in November and you won't receive anything in January, a gift of $60 or less should fall within this protection. But what happens if you receive more than $60 in a quarter? Here's where it gets problematic. Any amount over $20 per month or $60 per quarter, if infrequent, irregular, will reduce your SSI payment dollar for dollar by the excess amount. Let's work through an example. Say you receive a $100 Christmas check. The first $60 would be protected under the quarterly exclusion. However, the remaining $40 would be counted as unearned income, which could reduce your next SSI payment by $40. There is one exception to be aware of. If you use the gift money to pay for tuition, fees, or other necessary educational expenses, those funds may not count against you. However, you'll likely need to provide documentation proving how you spent the money. It's also critical to understand that if the government discovers you received unreported income, you could face overpayment demands and serious penalties. We're hearing from numerous people who've received overpayment letters demanding repayment of tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes because of gifts like insurance policies they didn't realize would disqualify them from benefits they'd been receiving. SNAP, food assistance rules. The rules for SNAP are different from SSI, and unfortunately, they can also vary significantly from state to state, which makes providing definitive guidance challenging. Based on federal guidelines, the SNAP program generally treats cash gifts as unearned income in the month you receive it. Additionally, if you have any of that cash remaining at the end of the month, it can then be counted as an asset the following month, potentially affecting your eligibility based on resource limits. There's some indication that irregular or infrequent gifts from friends or family might not count against your SNAP benefits, but this isn't consistently documented across all sources and may depend on your state's specific implementation. What we do know for certain is that SNAP does not count cash donations from nonprofit organizations as long as you don't receive more than $300 in a fiscal quarter, 3-month period. So if a charitable organization provides you with $300 or less to help with holiday expenses, vehicle repairs, or other needs, this should be protected, but this protection only applies to nonprofit donations, not gifts from individuals. This is why it's absolutely essential to carefully read all the letters you receive from your SNAP office. You'll get correspondence when you first enroll, when you recertify, and at other times throughout your participation. These letters contain critical information about your specific reporting requirements. Not everyone has the same reporting obligations. According to the USDA, some households must report on their circumstances every single month. Others must report changes as soon as they become aware of them. Still others report quarterly or semi-annually. Your reporting frequency depends on your individual circumstances, which is why those letters are so important. Medicaid considerations, cash gifts can also create problems for Medicaid eligibility. If a cash gift pushes you above the asset limit for your state's Medicaid program, it could trigger a period of ineligibility. The specifics vary by state, but this is another reason why accepting cash requires extreme caution. The bottom line on cash. Given all these complications, cash is definitively in the red light category. While I understand that cash is often the most helpful form of assistance, it offers complete flexibility in how you use it. It also creates the most potential problems with benefit programs. Generally speaking, you should try to avoid receiving cash gifts whenever possible, and we'll discuss some alternatives that might work better. Yellow light bill payments. Many people think they've found a clever workaround by having family members pay bills directly instead of giving cash. Unfortunately, this enters what I call the yellow light zone, an area where you must proceed with extreme caution because there are still significant risks. SSI and in-kind support and maintenance, ISM. Let's say your brother wants to help you out during the holidays. Instead of giving you cash, he decides to pay your rent directly to your landlord, or he pays your electric bill directly to the utility company. If you receive SSI, this triggers a rule called in-kind support and maintenance, and this is where things get complicated very quickly. According to the Social Security Administration's own website, in-kind support and maintenance is defined as unearned income in the form of food or shelter, or any combination of these. This means the Social Security Administration views payments for shelter and food as income, even though you never touch the money yourself. When someone provides you with in-kind support and maintenance, the SSA can reduce your monthly check by up to 1/3. In 2025, that reduction could be over $300 per month, a devastating loss for someone already living on a limited income. So, what bills can someone pay for you without triggering this rule? Payments for non-shelter items are usually safe. If someone pays your phone bill, internet service, car insurance, or car payment directly, these typically won't be counted as income by the Social Security Administration because they're not considered as essential as food and shelter. The key takeaway: If you receive SSI and someone wants to pay a bill for you, make absolutely sure it's not related to housing, rent, mortgage, property taxes, homeowners insurance, or utilities, electricity, gas, water, trash collection, or food. Stick with other expenses like transportation, communication, or insurance that isn't housing related. SNAP considerations for bill payments. SNAP benefits are calculated based on your household expenses. Therefore, if someone pays something like your rent directly, this could potentially create problems with how your SNAP benefits are calculated. The exact impact depends on several factors: the specific program rules, your state's implementation, the type of bill being paid, and sometimes even the amount paid. In certain situations, depending on the program and state regulations, paying a bill directly might be treated the same as giving you cash. This is a gray area that requires careful navigation. If you need specific guidance for your situation, it would be wise to consult with a benefits counselor or caseworker who understands your state's rules. Yellow light. Gift cards and gift certificates. Gift cards are another common holiday gift, especially for relatives who live far away or aren't sure what to buy. However, gift cards also fall into the yellow light category, requiring extreme caution. SSI gift card rules. The Social Security Administration has a clear policy. A gift card or gift certificate counts as income if it can be used to purchase food, if it can be used for shelter expenses, or, and this is crucial, if it can be resold. The resale provision is particularly important because it applies to far more gift cards than you might think. The official guidance from the Social Security Administration states, absent evidence to the contrary, presume a gift card or certificate can be resold. This means unless there's a legally enforceable prohibition on resale or transfer printed on the card by the card issuer or merchant, the SSA will assume the gift card can be sold and will count it as income. The good news is that gift cards and gift certificates are not considered in-kind support and maintenance, which means that first $60 quarterly exclusion we discussed earlier should still apply, as long as the gift meets the infrequent and irregular criteria. However, there's another trap to watch out for. You need to spend the gift card quickly. Any unspent balance remaining on a gift card or gift certificate will be counted as a resource beginning the month following the month you received it. Here's an example. You receive a $60 gift card at Christmas. Even if that first $60 doesn't count as income because it's an infrequent gift, if you still have unused balance on that card in January, it might now count against your resource limit of $2,000. Additionally, if you use a gift card to make a large purchase, that item must be evaluated under the SSA's resource policy. If you buy something that can be counted as a resource, like certain types of property or valuable items, that could also create problems down the line. SNAP gift card rules. The SNAP program handles gift cards differently than SSI, which adds another layer of complexity if you receive multiple benefits. The USDA has released helpful guidance that distinguishes between two types of gift cards. Type 1, store-specific gift cards. These are gift cards that can only be used at a particular store or chain of stores. Think Walmart gift cards, Target gift cards, Amazon gift cards, or gift cards for grocery store chains. In the SNAP program's view, these are considered household goods. They do not count as income, and they do not count as resources. If you receive SNAP benefits, store-specific gift cards are generally safe to accept. Type 2. Prepaid credit card gift cards. These are gift cards issued by credit card companies, Visa gift cards, MasterCard gift cards, American Express gift cards. Because these cards can be spent anywhere like cash, they do count toward the resource test. If someone gives you a prepaid Visa card, SNAP will consider that a resource available to you. In some cases, these may also count as income, though the specific circumstances aren't always clearly defined in the guidance. Gift card recommendations. Given these rules, if someone wants to give you a gift card, it's much safer to request a store-specific card rather than a prepaid credit card. Ask for a Walmart gift card, an Amazon gift card, a grocery store card, or a gas station card, something tied to a specific retailer rather than a card you can use anywhere. Green light. Tangible personal goods. Finally, we reach the green light zone. the category where you can actually relax and accept gifts with minimal stress. Social Security Administration rules for physical gifts. According to Social Security Administration guidelines, tangible personal goods are generally not counted as income. These are physical items you can hold, touch, and use. Things like clothing, winter coats, shoes, etc., electronics, laptops, tablets, televisions, furniture, beds, couches, tables, appliances, microwaves, coffee makers, travel, plane tickets to visit family, personal care items, hobby equipment, books, and educational materials. These types of gifts are typically safe to receive without worrying about your SSI benefits. However, you still need to watch out for gifts with high cash value or items that are easily converted into cash. One of the most common problems occurs when someone is gifted a life insurance policy or named as a beneficiary on a policy that has a cash surrender value. The Social Security Administration can view this as a resource, and if it puts you over the $2,000 resource limit, you could suddenly find yourself facing an overpayment demand. There are heartbreaking stories of people who owe tens of thousands of dollars in overpayments because they didn't realize a well-intentioned gift had pushed them over the resource limit. Please be careful about accepting anything with significant cash value or easy cash conversion options. SNAP rules for physical gifts. SNAP also generally doesn't count personal items or household goods unless they're specifically listed as countable resources. The list of countable resources focuses primarily on cash equivalents, savings certificates, stocks, bonds, and similar financial instruments. SNAP does count some non-liquid resources, but this varies significantly by state. Different states have different rules about how vehicles are counted. For example, if you're concerned that you might receive something that could potentially cause problems, I'd encourage you to check your state's specific resource list. The simple solution, here's the straightforward recommendation. If your family wants to spend money on you, ask them not to give you cash to buy something, ask them to just buy the item and give it to you directly. This simple switch protects your benefits. When they give you cash, it's income that creates problems. When they give you the actual item, it's just a personal effect. If they're worried about choosing the wrong thing or having to ship it, they can give you a store-specific gift card in many cases, keeping in mind the rules we discussed earlier. But please try your best to avoid those direct cash gifts. They create far more complications than they're worth. The golden ticket, ABLE accounts. Now let's discuss what I mentioned earlier as a golden ticket that can actually help you receive and save cash without jeopardizing your benefits. What are ABLE accounts? ABLE stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience Act. These are tax advantage savings accounts specifically designed for people with disabilities. If you have a qualifying disability, you may be eligible to open one of these accounts. The major advantage. Here's what makes ABLE accounts so powerful. This account lets you save up to $100,000 without it affecting your SSI or Medicaid eligibility, even though the standard asset limit is usually just $2,000. This is an enormous difference. Instead of being restricted to $2,000 in assets, you can build savings of up to $100,000, specifically designated for disability-related expenses. Contribution limits. Your family members and other contributors can deposit up to $19,000 into your ABLE account in 2025. This limit is adjusted annually for inflation, so it increases over time. This means your family can contribute substantial amounts to help you without triggering any of the income or resource problems we've discussed throughout this guide. The money goes into your ABLE account, and you can access it when needed for qualified expenses. What are qualified disability expenses? I know the term qualified disability expenses sounds very restrictive and official, but the reality is far more generous than you might expect. According to the ABLE National Resource Center, ABLE accounts can be used for a wide range of expenses, including food, housing, and shelter transportation, employment training and support, assistive technology and devices, personal support services, healthcare, medical and dental expenses, prevention and wellness programs, financial management and administrative services, legal fees, funeral and burial expenses, basic living expenses, education and job-related expenses, In fact, the ABLE National Resource Center explicitly states the term QDE should be broadly understood to include basic living expenses. These accounts offer tremendous flexibility. For instance, the Social Security Administration has confirmed that food is considered a qualified disability expense. Additionally, ABLE funds can be used for major purchases. A parent could purchase a vehicle that their child will be transported in, or even a home that their child will live in, using funds from that child's ABLE account. Expanded eligibility in 2026. If you've looked into ABLE accounts before and were disappointed to learn you weren't eligible, I have excellent news. Starting January 1st, 2026, eligibility is expanding significantly. Historically, ABLE accounts have been limited to individuals whose disability began before age 26. Beginning in 2026, you may qualify for an ABLE account if your disability began before age 46, even if you're currently older than 46. This expanded age limit will make ABLE accounts available to many more people who previously couldn't access this valuable tool. If you were ineligible before, it's worth checking again after January 1st, 2026. How to use ABLE accounts for holiday gifts? If you have an ABLE account, you can direct family members to contribute holiday gifts directly to your account rather than giving you cash or gift cards. This allows them to help you financially while completely avoiding all the income and resource restrictions we've discussed. The money in your ABLE account remains protected and available for you to use on a wide range of qualified expenses when you need it, without the constant worry about exceeding monthly income limits or resource caps. Reporting requirements. Throughout this guide, I've emphasized the importance of understanding your specific reporting requirements. Let me stress this one more time. You must read the letters you receive from Social Security, the SNAP office, and your Medicaid program. These letters aren't just bureaucratic paperwork. They contain essential information about what you need to report, when you need to report it, and how to report it. Reporting requirements vary dramatically from person to person. Some people must report monthly, others must report changes as they happen, and still others report quarterly or semi-annually. If you fail to report income or resources when required, even if it was an honest mistake or you didn't understand the rules, you can face serious consequences, including benefit reductions, temporary ineligibility, overpayment demands that must be repaid, potential fraud allegations. In extreme cases, the government expects you to know and follow these rules. Ignorance is not considered a valid defense if you receive benefits you weren't entitled to receive. Additional important considerations. Keep documentation. If you receive any gifts that might be questioned later, keep documentation. This includes cards or notes that came with gifts showing they were one-time, irregular gifts, receipts showing how you spent gift cards or cash, documentation of the source of gifts, family member, nonprofit organization, etc. Any correspondence with benefit programs about gifts you've received. Good record keeping can protect you if questions arise later. When in doubt, ask. If you're unsure whether accepting a particular gift will affect your benefits, it's better to ask before accepting it. Contact your caseworker, call the benefit program's helpline, or consult with a benefits counselor. A quick phone call now can prevent a devastating overpayment demand later. Communicate with family. Have an honest conversation with your family members about your situation. Explain that while you deeply appreciate their desire to help, certain types of gifts can actually cause serious problems for you. Most family members, once they understand the situation, will be happy to adjust their gift giving to keep you safe. You might feel embarrassed to have this conversation, but remember, family members want to help you, not hurt you. They'll appreciate knowing how to give gifts that truly help without creating unintended consequences. State variations. Remember that many of these rules, particularly for SNAP and Medicaid, can vary by state. Some states have more generous policies than others. Some states have different reporting requirements. This guide provides federal guidelines and general principles, but your state's specific rules may differ. Check with your state's benefit programs to understand the exact policies that apply to you. Summary of key points. Let me summarize the most important takeaways. Red lights, avoid. cash in any form, checks, Venmo, Cash App, etc., above $20 per month or $60 per quarter, prepaid credit card gift cards, anything that can be easily converted to cash, yellow lights, proceed with caution, bill payments, especially for housing and utilities, store-specific gift cards, varies by program, gifts with high cash value, green lights, generally safe, tangible personal goods, clothing, electronics, furniture, items you'll use yourself that don't have high resale value, contributions to an ABLE account, if you have one, best practices, ask family to buy you items directly rather than giving you money to buy them. If gift cards are given, request store-specific cards rather than prepaid credit cards. Consider opening an ABLE account, if eligible. Read all correspondence from benefit programs, carefully report gifts when required by your program. Keep documentation when in doubt. Ask before accepting. Looking forward. I know these rules are complicated, frustrating, and sometimes seem nonsensical. It's difficult enough to live on limited benefits without having to worry about whether accepting help from loved ones will jeopardize those benefits. However, knowledge is power. By understanding these rules, you can navigate the holiday season and other gift-giving occasions without fear. You can communicate effectively with your family about how they can best help you. And you can avoid the devastating consequences of unintentional violations. The expanded eligibility for ABLE accounts beginning in 2026 represents real progress in giving people with disabilities more flexibility and financial security. If you qualify, these accounts can be truly life-changing. Remember, the goal isn't to refuse all help, it's to accept help in ways that protect rather than jeopardize your benefits. With the right approach, your family can support you effectively while keeping your benefits safe. The holiday season should be a time of joy and celebration, not stress and worry about benefits. By applying the principles in this guide, you can accept your family's love and generosity in forms that won't come back to haunt you later. These rules exist within a complex system that wasn't designed with simplicity or user-friendliness in mind. But by educating yourself and staying informed, you can successfully navigate these requirements. Share this information with your family members so they understand how to help you most effectively. Have those important conversations now before the holidays arrive so everyone is on the same page. And most importantly, remember that you deserve support and assistance. These rules shouldn't make you feel guilty about receiving help. They should just guide you toward accepting help in the safest possible ways. Stay informed, stay protected, and have a wonderful holiday season.